Hey, welcome to Kat's Creations live on Friday night, where tonight, as promised, I am going to teach you how to do a traditional lighted evergreen Christmas wreath. So let me kind of show you some of the stuff that we're going to be doing and the steps that we're going to be doing it. We're using a 24-inch evergreen base. You can get these at Hobby Lobby. They list for $9.99, but with 50% off, it's basically $4.99, not including tax. I am using it's called a fairy light. So 3 AAA batteries allow you to put in a 90 light set. I think it's about 33 feet if you were to stretch it out end to end, and that's going to go inside our wreath. We're incorporating the 6x12 tin Merry Christmas sign. That's going to go into our wreath. Then we're going to come in and we're going to add some greenery to kind of take this blah evergreen and kind of pop it, make it something a lot better than what it looks like. We will do our bows. We'll put a bow on it, we'll add our sign, and then we'll start to embellish it with some bulbs, some pine cones, and some berries. So before we begin, is there anyone there?
Yeah, still, obviously people trickling on, but Caitlin's on, Shirley, Gail, Nancy, Diana, Stephanie, Elaine, Linda, and that's what I've got so far, and Carol Ann.
Well, thank you for joining me. So the first thing you're going to do with your evergreen is they come to where it doesn't, like this, if I looked at the measurements on it, is about 18 inches in diameter. So once you fluff that out, you get that full extra 6 inches. So what you want to do is start in one spot, and you want to touch every single piece of that evergreen, and you want to pull it out and forward, kind of a little bit on the inside, not an overabundance on the inside, but once you just find your starting point, you're going to pick everything up and you're going to pull it forward, because these have been packed in boxes for shipping and they don't look as nice. Sometimes people will pass these up thinking that they are just not big enough, or they look at that and they go, that's not 24 inches. It's because it's all flattened down. This is why people have a tendency of not going with artificial Christmas trees, is because they don't look nice. But if you take the time to really fluff them, it saves you on all the hassles of a normal evergreen tree. Some people are allergic to them, so they have to go with artificial. So what you want it to inevitably resemble is what I say, it's like a blooming onion from Outback Steakhouse. So you need to pull these up and out. So that's the first thing you need to do.
Hi, Tammy said, hi, Ken and Steve from South Dakota.
Hi, Tammy,
Hi,
welcome.
Peggy, hi, Jackie. Missy said, hi, Ken and Steve. From our high school's championship football game, I had to check in, though, to see what's going on tonight.
Yes, so I've had a lot of requests. I do this every year. I always do at least one lighted, just to show you how to add lights. It's easier to add it to an evergreen and probably a deco mesh. I would probably steer clear away from a grapevine because it's a little hard to hide the wires, although it can be done, believe it or not. Now, because I was thinking about that, I did do it on a Halloween grapevine because I spray painted the whole grapevine black, and then meticulously, wherever the wire was showing, I took a Sharpie marker and Sharpie markered all the silver wire. I just basically colored the wire in so that you couldn't see the wire. Okay, I'm going to hardwire this piece in because it looks like one of the branches probably broke as well. So I don't want it coming undone, which happens. So if you can see, this piece I was fluffing just completely pulled away from the frame. So I'm just going to take it with a 22 gauge wire, and I'm just going to wire that back onto the frame.
And that's how you fix evergreen.
And that's how you fix an evergreen. Exactly. I've never had that happen before. Because I was like fluffing it, I was like, wow, this is a really big branch. So, wire that back in. Okay. And then I'll do one more part right in the front just to make sure it stays. Sometimes you just never know. You never know what you're going to get until you start to work with it. Like I'm sure all of us have done a Dollar Tree grapevine only to find out that hopefully we figured it out sooner than later that our wreath frame weld has snapped. So you either have loose rails or you have loose sections. And so I have to just toss them. I just use them for mock-ups at that point. Okay, so we have remedied that. So this is an extra added bonus, no additional charge, on how to fix your evergreen when the branches break their welds. Because that's all they are, is it's basically a large piece of garland added onto a wire or metal frame. So we're gonna make it.
Yeah, Mary, we've seen that before. She said Michael sells the chocolate brown wire with the mini LED light battery strand lights.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
Yep.
I had some, but here's the thing about doing a 24-inch evergreen, you need quite a few lights. So sometimes you'll find like the little light sets that'll say like this is 15 feet of lights. That's not going to be enough. Or it'll say you only have 15 bulbs. May not be enough. This one's 90 bulbs. So I really want it to pop a little bit. So when I use the fairy lights, they just look softer.
Yeah. Angie Phillips said, after seeing you unbox your chocolate chore, I ordered my starter kit.
Oh, very cool.
I've been thinking about it for a while, wanting to make signs and wreaths and have husband make the boards.
There you go. That's exactly what I'm trying to talk Steve into doing. He's like, so I'll be getting creative on some of my options. So, but yeah, I'm super excited to start that. Super, super excited.
Pat Reed said, I finally got signed up to your private group.
She did.
And now I need to know how to watch you. Apparently I'm not getting notifications.
Okay, so Steve can tell you, if you just click on the video, so anywhere on the video that's playing right now, it should pull up like the little, the volume indicator. In the upper right hand corner are 3 little dots. Go ahead and click on those dots and it will allow you to either turn on or turn off notifications.
Yep.
And it's when I go live. So super simple.
But on your pre-recorded lives, you might be able to do the same as while you're watching it. You might be able to do the same thing. Click on the 3 dots.
I think you can.
Yeah.
So that's all you need to do. So while you're doing it right now, and I'm fluffing, you can go ahead and turn the notifications on. I'm always on in my public group every Friday night at 5 p.m. That's California time. 7 o'clock Central and 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep. And hi, gals, just joining. Kathy said, did you post a replay of the unboxing of your chalk couture?
I don't think I did. Well, it's in the public group, so it's there. I think. And I unboxed another order, when did I unbox that order? Last night when I got home from Disneyland.
Yeah.
I wanted some additional things. I kind of jumped the gun. So if you're starting out, you kind of want to wait to see what comes in your welcome kit first. Because me jumping the gun just meant I ordered a bunch of stuff that came in the welcome kit, so now I just have extras. So you never know. Those might just become gifts to give people who will sign up in my group. So I like giving away freebie stuff. You guys know that. Occasionally we do that. So it starts to look like a blooming onion. And all of your branches need to go the same direction. So don't, when you're opening them, don't do this. You want to kind of have a cohesive movement as you go around. Because that's the way it would be if this was all real. You know, we would be laying our branches in all the same direction. We wouldn't lay one here and one there. Although you might do this.
Deborah, I'm not sure about your comment, but I'll comment on how I think it is. She said, how can this be handmade when you're buying an evergreen wreath? if you make it by adding the evergreen yourself, then wouldn't it be considered handmade? If she's buying the evergreen wreath, just like she's buying the ribbon, just like she's buying the sign.
Yeah.
She didn't make the sign, she didn't make the ribbon.
That's true.
But it's still handmade because you're taking all these pieces and putting it together. Otherwise, you
And
would not be
making
able to
it-
sell it that way.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
imagine if, I don't think anyone would buy a 24-inch evergreen the way I just showed it to you. You would be fluffing it, adding stuff to it. So that kind of takes the element and makes it homemade
Right.
or handmade,
Right.
if we want to refrain that.
Oh, and then she said she made a wreath out of that sign. So great taste, Kat.
Oh,
That is a really pretty sign, and that
It
sign is
is.
from
This is from the Wreath Shop.
the wreath shop.
So it comes in MDF and it also comes in tin. You can find it on Craft Outlet, but all they have is the MDF version. So the tin version is still available on the Wreath Shop.
I like the tin version.
So
better.
do I, but
Yeah.
sometimes you can't get it, so you have to go with what you got.
Right.
So I am going to attempt, this always works out to our disadvantage every time we try to do this because of how they wire everything, to see how these go. So put your AAA batteries in before you wire it onto your wreath. Make sure it works, because we would hate to go through all that process of hiding the wire and wiring it all together. And I actually leave it on while I'm working, so that we can see where all of our lights are going to go. And I kind of just weave it in and out. So I'm not so much worried about the battery pack and its little extra cord. So what I have a tendency of doing is just kind of weaving it in and out and around the branches. These are a warm, very light. They come in cool white, which is that blue, bright light, for those of you that like that look. I think most people like the warmer look. Steve does. He likes warm lights.
I like both, yeah.
I like the cooler ones because they just look fresh and bright. But like I said, everyone's got their own preference. So,
Let's see, who said that?
are you trying to go around and find comments now?
Well, Pat asked, what is MDF? MDF basically, if I remember, stands
Yes.
for manufactured, manufactured something fireboard. So it's basically a fireboard that's like pre-manufactured and put together.
It's like press
Density,
board.
I think. Yeah, manufactured density fireboard.
And that is the lesson for today.
Yeah.
So.
Jen said excited to see this wreath finished. I haven't tried an evergreen. Evergreen
Yeah.
is fun.
Evergreens are pretty, I mean, they're pretty traditional. Deco mesh, I think, is still evolving. There's still some people who, are never going to go deco mesh. So it's always good in your shop to have a little bit of a little bit of everything to appeal to all your buyers. So as you see, I'm just working my way around, kind of going in and around the branches. So we're trying to get them to where I don't worry so much about the wires right now, because there's going to be just so much more being added on, whether it's pine cones or picks or berries or ornaments. Our goal is to get the wires in there. Okay. See, I favor them all. I was going to say I favor deco mesh just because there's so much you can do with them. But there's some people who don't like stuff in the middle, like my brother. I think he calls himself a traditionalist. He doesn't believe that a wreath should have a hole in it, is what he told me. I was like, not always.
Oh.
No.
There's just a big cat for the tip of directing the branches.
Yeah, and it'll start to kind of look a little bit messy.
Blooming onion is a great way to describe it.
What?
A blooming onion is a great way to
A
describe
blooming onion, because that's exactly what it looks like the first time I did it. I was like, that looks like a blooming onion from Outback
it.
Steakhouse.
Okay, yeah.
There's a plug, shameless plug for Outback.
Hi Sheila. Hi gals just joining. Hi Renee. Hi Eve. Gail.
There we go.
Oh, Deborah said she finally got the order from those 10 wreaths. She had to call and talk to that lady, but she paid the 50%. So awesome.
Good.
Awesome.
That is really good. Thanks.
People should love your work.
Thank you. Sitting here trying to get that. The way that they wrap it is they kind of do twofold in that I think they go halfway and then they decide at some point they're going to just, like I'm trying to get the center one out away from my other wire. I think I did it. Yeah. Let's just drop those to the ground and hopefully they'll.
Ooh.
What?
Cindy said, had lunch it out back today.
You did?
Cindy says, I love blooming onions.
I am not a blooming onion fan. I don't like onions on anything except flavor for my food. But everybody else in our family does.
So Pat, in the private group, you would go to videos, correct? Video tabs or posts? Or just videos?
It depends on the device used.
That's true.
So you always have to. So if you're using it from a computer or a laptop, you have a video tab. If you were using it from an Android device, an iPhone, an iPad, sometimes you don't have the video tab. Don't ask me why, it's a Facebook issue. So to search for a video, you're just going to use the search option that is available to you depending on your device. And just type in the name of whatever you're searching for, like Evergreen Lighted Christmas Wreath, which is what this one will be named after today.
Right.
So if you're
or
looking,
tree topper angel, right?
Yeah, or angel tree topper, or Christmas poinsettia flower, or Christmas centerpiece, whatever you want. Or you can just type in videos just for general search, and then you will find pretty much all of the videos. And I mean all the videos. Okay.
Welcome, Charlotte. She said, hi, first time viewer. Where you from, Charlotte?
Yes, let us know
What
where
city
you're
and state?
from. So doing this method with this size light allows you to really hit almost every single one of the branches. So if you can see, I'm kind of coming back up to where I left off. And for the most part, I've been able to kind of go like a little weave, like a little S pattern, up and then down all the way through. And that's kind of all I do.
Yes, Deborah, unfortunately, California does charge sales tax.
For what?
As long as if you're shipping within California and the purchase is in California.
Every state's different.
Yeah.
You have to find out what your state is.
Yep.
So California is considered a destination state. So if you make your items and sell them in the same state, you have to charge sales tax. You are required by law to collect sales tax. Let's just say that.
Right.
Doesn't mean everybody does.
Right, so AC charged sales tax on her deposit.
Probably.
Because it's half the deposit, so the rest would, once she pays the rest, it would also be taxed.
Yes, it will be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good because that means you don't have to pay sales tax at the end of the year because Etsy is collecting that for you. So that's nice. It's an extra added layer of bookkeeping you don't have to do. And that must be fairly new because before we were required to collect it from people in California. And then here's the other thing. Deborah, where are you at? Because your state might be different, and that's why it's charging tax.
I think she's also in California.
I don't think so.
Hmm.
So.
Michelle said, hi, Kat. Oh, you are right. I have gotten more requests for burlap wreaths.
Who?
Michelle.
She got more requests, or she's getting more requests for burlap?
Yeah.
Good for you. I just think that seriously, everybody's got a degree of specialty. So look, I've already gone around and I have just this much left. So now what I'm going to kind of do is look for those little dark places where, closer to the top, I might be able to give some extra added light. So, and I try really hard to get the wire down towards the frame, but like I said, not a necessity. So I'm kind of
just... in Georgia.
Okay, so Georgia might be what's called an origination state, which means that if your sales originate in your state, you're required to collect tax on your sales. So the best thing to do is contact your, I think it's called the State Board of Equalization. It's like your tax board for your state. And just ask them. They're really nice about helping you. Just ask, how are you required to collect tax for sales in your state or sales out of your state? And they'll tell you, you know, we're going to hold you responsible for all sales made in your state, but stuff's not made in your state is what they call exempt. You are not required to collect tax on that at that time, because it can always change. So I just know in California I am required. All my sales outside the state of California, I don't have to collect sales tax on. But it doesn't mean that people in those states aren't required to pay it. There's some states like Pennsylvania, Washington, and they keep adding states all the time.
Jesse said the same in Alabama.
Yeah.
Hi, Nissy.
So you just have to look. Oops. One of these got stuck in my drawer handle.
Ooh.
I know, I was like pulling. I'm like, why won't it come up? So again, I'm just looking for the dark holes. Okay. Da-da-da. I know, and it's like, oh, you just went through all that hassle of fluffing? No, that just made it easy for me to add the lights too. So now I gotta find my little box, because another question people ask is, how do you attach the box to your wreath? Well, it depends. Two things. One, if your lighted box, sometimes it comes with a little tab in it. So if your box has a tab, you're gonna take a pipe cleaner. Mine does not, but you would stick it in that tab, twist it, and then that allows you to attach it to the back of your wreath. Mine does not. So what you want to do is figure out, number one, where does the battery pack open? Because you don't want to secure it down where the customer has to change the batteries. So mine is actually, it's on the back, but my switch is on the front. So it's kind of interesting there. So what I'm going to do is take one of my adhesive cable ties. These are what I use to tie my wreaths down into the box. And I'm actually going to put this, put it on the side where the switch is, because I really need the customer to be able to open the box. And this is going to allow me, like so that I can keep the switch up, and then they can just untwist the twist tie to get the box open. So I come to the back, and because this is an elevated wreath frame, it's going to allow me to take my box. I'm going to get my box in there. And I usually try to find a cross beam or a rail in there. I'm going to try to get my pipe cleaner up first, and then get this one up. I try to hide them so I make them, try to make them. Okay. And pipe. Let me just twist this a little harder. We are going to secure this because I need it to be in this little
groove, right?
Yeah, there's like a little pocket between the upper and the lower. So, and then I'm trying to get my pipe cleaners in at the same time, but you want it to where the switch is available to be turned on and off. Because if they can't reach the switch, but they can reach the box,
right,
then it's going to be a little troublesome. So, and I leave my pipe cleaner there. So I'm going to just take this little excess wire. This is that lead wire that goes from your box to give you enough of a head start. Did I put my wire back?
Do you need another little pipe cleaner?
No. I thought I left my wire out from when that snapped. So you can pipe cleaner it, but I'm just going to take this and just kind of wire it to the top so that it looks somewhat neat and organized. But you don't want the box to interfere with the customer being able to hang that on that rail, which is why we lowered it past the rail point.
Right. A good tip is probably to have that at the bottom of the wreath too, right?
Yeah, and since we have no top and bottom right now,
right,
this makes sense. Because otherwise, sometimes if it sticks out, when the customer goes to hang it on the door, it kind of elevates away from the door. So you want it to fit as flush as possible. We'd rather it lift from the bottom rather than the top forward. So there's that. Light pack is added. Lights are all set. So now we're going to go ahead and take this dull, lifeless evergreen that looks like the store-bought blooming onion of whatchamacallit, Outback, and we're going to add some life to it. And by that I mean we're going to add some additional greenery to it, which is just your white pine picks from Hobby Lobby. So you get about 6 different picks in here. So you're just going to separate those just like this, and you're going to, let's see, start snipping them all off. So the reason why I don't break all this down ahead of time is because I want you to show you exactly how it comes, so when you go to look for this, you know exactly what you're looking for, instead of me saying, oh, well, these all used to be on this pick. And so just kind of imagine that, if you will, with all the little branches on it. And these are only $3, but half off is like $1.50.
Yeah. Brenda, I think Kat said there was 90 lights.
Yes, this was a 90 light count.
90 light count.
Yeah, there's 90. Isn't that insane to think that? It's like, how can that be 90?
The lights were how many feet?
They said,
feet?
yeah, it's like, oh, it's right here. Hold on. Let's see if I can actually read small font. Gotta kind of do that now. Gotta play trombone. Hold on, I'll tell you. I swear I want to get a magnifying glass and go like this. It is 28.9 feet with the lights, and then it has 11.8 inches clear lead wire. So that wire you saw me bundle is the lead wire, right. And then 28.9, so it's about, what, 40 feet? No. 40 feet of wire.
30.
29.8 plus 11.8
inches, right?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah. Inches.
So, yeah, about 30 feet.
30 feet.
Okay, and I got them at Big Lots. So they come in a little box like this for like $5. So when you see them, especially when they go on clearance, snag a whole bunch. But just make sure that you're looking, because I was under the impression that the blue meant it was going to be the cool, and then a different color at the bottom would be different. Like it would be, this is cool, and then orange would be warm, but it's not. It says warm white microlights, and then the other will say cool white. So just whatever your preference is. These are more yellow, more warm.
We also get them on Amazon, like the starry lights you used to put in.
Yeah. Those are the ones that come with the timer and the remote, but those are a little bit more.
Right.
So you can't get those on clearance or use a coupon. You just have to pay whatever the going rate is. So let's break this down.
This pick is from Hobby Lobby. It's her white pine.
White pine pick. Yep. So it should yield you about 12 pieces. And then I'm also going to take this frosted pine, which is more of a noble, and I'm actually going to pull this apart as well. And we're going to incorporate this. It just sheds a lot because whatever they added the little frosty pieces with, it doesn't stay on the pick. So we can break these down into a couple different pieces. It just depends on how you want them. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll just leave those that way. I have my glue skillet, so I'm going to move all my ribbons to the side, move the sign out of the way. This way you can actually see me do the pick. I just have to have room. So what we're going to do is, let's see, we have 5, we had 12, so about every 2 we'll add a noble fir with frost. So you're just going to take it, you're going to dip it in the glue skillet if you have one. If not, you can use a glue gun. Just start gluing just the tail, the tip, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go in between your pine branches and just to the outside pieces, you're going to kind of tuck those in the same direction. So you're moving those at the same angle you feathered those in.
About what, every 5 or 6 inches? About every 5 inches?
Yeah, maybe. I think. So I'm going to do the same for this one.
So the glue won't melt the lights, it won't melt the wire. It'll
Nope.
attach itself to the
Branches.
evergreen.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point you can turn off the lights, but
I like
just
to keep it on
Right.
to see if I do something, and I'm not touching the wires, I'm just going in between. So because I have my lights on, because I can see my wires, I can avoid gluing on top of them. Just like so. Then we'll add another one of these. And we'll go a little bit deeper. It just kind of takes your evergreen and just kind of makes it look like something better than just your standard evergreen.
Thank you, Charlotte, for sharing. This is the public group, so
Share away.
feel free to share away, yeah.
And yes, you can say that by Facebook terms and conditions. You can tell people, share my video. It is completely in their terms, conditions, guidelines. You won't be put in Facebook jail because you told someone to share your video. That's not why you get put in Facebook jail. Eeks. So I love this noble fir. I just wish that I had tons Sometimes I wish that they made noble fir evergreens instead of, it's like the artificial, what is it, Douglas fir, I think. This is supposed to be similar to.
Linda, I can answer that. The answer is no.
What's
She
that?
said, Kat, did you get your coffee sign hung that you got the other day? No, I haven't hung it for her yet, but I will.
Yeah, because we took some time out just to get away. Steve's been traveling so much, so it just starts to physically wear on you. So we just kind of did a last minute quick trip to Disney. I haven't been in, I think we said 5 or 6 years. So it's been a while. So I've made it all the way around. I have 4 pieces of the pine. So I'm just kind of adding these now a little bit to the inside. Or wherever you are not liking the way something looks, or you might feel like, like right here, it seems a little vacant. Just add some more pine to it. I tried to space them out.
Libby, the noble fir is also from Hobby Lobby.
Noble first from Michael's Bay.
Oh, from Michael's?
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. I didn't cover that one. And then I'll add this one to the inside.
It looked like a Hobby Lobby tag. Sorry.
No. I wish. Sometimes, well, Hobby Lobby sells something similar, but not my favorite. And I'm going to add this one. Let's see, where's my battery pack? It's right here. So let's dress up the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to put another piece in here.
That's good. Pat said because of where I live, I had a lot of juniper, so juniper must be local to her where she lives.
And what I can show you too, when we do another one, is you can actually add ivy and ficus to it, and it just creates a whole different dimension. So see, this is what I'm saying, is all this white glitter is the stuff that comes off of those frosted branches.
Right.
So I don't think that spray adhesive would help because it's not actually gluing stuff down. It just kind of helps things to adhere. And anytime that you want to flex the branch, it would just fall off anyway. So I'm just making sure I stay on track. We fluffed the wreath, we added the lights, we broke down our picks, so now we're gonna make our bow. So this is just gonna have one big bow on top so that we can add our sign. What we need to do is figure out how big is our bow and how much of that space in the middle is going to get eaten away based on the size of our bow. So I'm going to take this, kind of set that aside, and now we're going to take this 2.5 inch green glitter, which came from Joann's. We're going to add a 2.5 inch, it's like Christmas tree print, and that actually came from Shinoda. It's a wholesale design center that is available online to order from, but you have to have a wholesale license or seller's permit or federal tax ID number. Got those. And then we are going to add in a 1.5 inch. We're going to break that up. It just didn't want to stack very well. With a green lame, we're going to come in with a mistletoe print because our sign has the mistletoe on it, or holly.
The holly.
Yeah. And then we're going to add this mesh, it's like a mesh red, so it's a little bit transparent. So that's going to be our top ribbon. So we are going to start, and it's nice. If you have a green base, it's good to break up that green base. So we're going to actually start with the red. And I'm going to use my Bodabra, just so I don't lose track of where it all goes. Scissors.
Cindy asked, what is your favorite project to do?
Project on wreath making?
Just overall general.
Overall general?
Well, now it might be chocolatier because now she's getting into chocolate.
It's testing my perfectionist ability, because if it's anything less than clear and precise, I don't like it. I want to start all over again and redo it. So wreath making allows you to have those little imperfections that just make it part of the creation. So chocolatier will take me a while. It'll probably be 2 years before I can say, yes, I can do these really well now. So, sorry, dovetail cut. We're going to do 10-inch tails. So I'll show you when we finish this one how to do the tails. So here's 10 inches in. And then with the Bodabra, all it is a twist. You don't have to pinch and gather, just twist it. Push it right in the Bodabra. And then you're going to decide how big your loops are going to be. And on a 10-inch, it's anywhere from like 5.5 to 6. It's up to you how you want it to look. I think I'm going to go 6. And then the next one I'll do 5.5 or 6. So 10-inch tails, 6-inch loop.
Jenny said, I watched all your recent videos while I was at work this week.
Aw, thank you.
That must be nice.
It could be. Just what do you do for work that allows you to be able to watch videos? So dovetail cut, super simple. Take wired edges, bring them together, fold it in half, and then you're going to go from your fold to the point of your ribbon. So depending upon how deep you want it will be how far down you go and angle that to the point. So if you want a really deep V, then you want to go really high but still shoot for that corner. If you don't want very deep, then just bring it up a little bit higher. So I kind of go midway.
Like a 45-degree angle, yeah.
Yeah, and then that gives me a pretty good ribbon. That's out. So we're going to take this from Joann's, which finally, trying to find a true green that is not sheer. I found one, just one, believe it or not. And Joann's ribbon today and tomorrow is on sale for 70% off.
Again, huh?
Yeah, again. So you really want to grab these sales. Do not think you got until after Black Friday, because the supply is getting thinner because people are gravitating towards those sales. So this is a 25-foot roll, but most of the 1.5 is 30 foot. So this is $9.99, which brings us down to $3 a roll, which is a really good deal.
Jenny says she's in accounts payable.
Ah.
I put my headphones on and turn my phone upside down. They think I'm listening to music.
There you go. So there's the green, and it's at 9.5 inches for the tail. And we shall see, these are, I'm trying to decide, I'm looking at the length and seeing if I like that. It's like 5 1/4. So I'm just bringing those in ever so slightly. Just making sure they're all where they need to be. Okay, and then another 9.5.
Much.
I know, I see him. Can you please go get lost? You know you're not allowed to be up there. Not now.
I've got Zoom, so that'll be cool.
Okay. Yay, no one can see you. He's like, I'll take care of that. They will. Oh, they will. Okay, now we are going to, trying to see what I like. If I want to bring the holly in. We can go holly. Hold on. Holly, red. I don't like the green in that, because that's way too much red together. We could do it like that and then finish it. I think I'll go the way I was originally going. So we're going to add this. We're going to bring in the 1.5. And this is my standard 6 ribbon bow. It's usually, depending on the size of the wreath, going to be 2.5 inch. And then this is going to 9. And this is 9-inch tails. And I'll tell you what the loop size is in 1 second. This is going to be 4.5. So 9-inch tails, 4.5-inch loop. Perfect. And trust me, I even use my own videos when I have to go back and replicate a wreath. I'm like, oh, how did I do that? What size tails did I do? What order did I stack my ribbon? So it's always helpful. So this also came from Shinoda. And then we're gonna add our, it's like red, green, red, green. Looks pretty so far. It's great traditional Christmas colors. So we're gonna take green lame, which came from Craft Outlet. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 8.5. Tails. So sometimes I like to break patterns up by going pattern, plain, pattern, plain. It It just kind of gives some interesting dimension to the bow, but you don't have to. This is 4-inch tail. So I'll do 4 inches here. And then, or 4-inch loop, sorry. What did we say, 8.5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 8.5-inch tail. There we go. And then we're going to add our holly ribbon. And then we'll finish this off with the red. And both of these came from Costco last year. So what I noticed is every year, the wholesale, like Costco and Sam's Club, the ribbon prints are still pretty, but it just seems like the quality of the ribbon goes down. Like they're thinner, they're not as thick, they're sheer. And staying up with that, the price point that we all like. So I'm going to do this one the same at 4 once I get it settled. So it's going to match the green, and then our red will be 3.5 inches, and that's usually about as small as I'll go. And 8. Any questions you guys have?
What Kim asked, what company was having the 70% off sale?
Joann's.
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to start to get down to like whatever's left will be stuff that people just don't like. So it'll be crazy colors that really nobody ever picks for Christmas.
Simone says Costco still has that berry or the
Do
holly
they?
ribbon.
That's good. So, and this one's going to be
Thanks, Simone.
7.5. And usually I always tell you to go with a patterned print for the top, but because this has that open weave mesh, it's just as pretty. And this one's at 3.5 inches for the loop, 7.5-inch tail. Just making sure they'll line up and that everything is the same length on both sides. And then here we go. I will dovetail cut this because it is a pretty thick mesh, not something that would fray and come undone. So let me just secure this, and then we'll go ahead and take it, fluff it, slap it on our, not slap it on our wreath. Perfect. Okay, here's that. These are done. Bring this over. So we always, like Steve says, you want to find your battery pack. So mine's down here. I have a really nice Noble branch down there. So we're going to take this, and I just picked a green that matched my green of my evergreen.
Or you want me to get your red?
No, we'll do green. Because I don't want to see it through the evergreen, and it's going to be so minute here. You're not going to really see it either. 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's done. So there's my battery pack. So I'm going to go ahead and put my bow up here, and I just have to figure out the wares. So let's get this.
Linda, that's great. She said I'd have people asking me about Valentine's wreaths.
That is really good.
Make one and post it.
Yep, that's what I would be doing right now. I sold one a week or so ago. It was the only Valentine's Day wreath I had in my shop, but it sold. That's not true. I have one other one in there. It's I think it's a rose wreath. So, already trying to plan for, okay, what am I going to teach her for Valentine's Day? Hard to believe. Okay, go ahead.
And Nancy asked, are the bows all the same length? No.
No.
You bring them in a little bit, right?
Yeah, I start with 10-inch tails, And I think this one was 6-inch loop, and then I bring it down a 1/2 inch, and then usually a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, depends on, you know, where I want it to set, but I'm always bringing them down. So here we're gonna bring our red tail, because remember we started with red on the bottom. So I'm gonna go red tail up, red loop up, and on this side we're gonna go red loop or red tail up and red loop down. So our tails are complete opposites of each other, and our loops are complete opposites. So here we have our tail down, so we're going to take our loop down this time with the green. So we have our red tail and then a green tail. We have our red loop and our green loop. And then here we're going to take our loop up and bring our tail down. So if you put in your floral wire, your pipe cleaner really good, you can pull your ribbon pretty good to get it to fluff in that direction. Now up here, if I was to do the same, I'm going to get these two exactly together. So I'm going to separate them, and I'm going to bring the loop down and the tail up, even though I just did it right there. It's okay. It's a designer's choice. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I am going to, let's see, that one's there. Here's my tail. I'm going to follow this around. And then we're going to do the exact opposites here. So we're doing our tail down and our loop up on this side. So that we're breaking up all those colors. And then the same thing here. We're going to break some of that up with our green and our red. And then here, you can go back to the same direction if you want. And now we have our mistletoe, or holly.
I don't know what
All
you're
the
calling
same to
mistletoe.
me.
No, it's holly.
Whatever. It's going to be holly for me today. And then here's our red. So let's see, we did up. So we're going to go down. And then this one's going to go up. And then you can fluff your ribbon. You can kind of run your fingers through your loops to get them all to kind of fold.
Jane said her Hobby Lobby ran out of so many picks and sprays. She's headed to Joann's first thing tomorrow.
Yeah, I kid you not. If you're a creative, and I've been doing, this is going on my 3rd Christmas, there will be nothing left in Hobby Lobby that you will desire or want by the first week of December, which sadly is in 2 weeks. So get what you want. If you have a design in mind, go pick up whatever you need, because it will not be there.
Not even that, it's in a week.
Yeah, so there's the bow. Well, December 2nd, the first week of December is not next week, it's the week after. Next week is the 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th.
Yeah, Sunday is the 1st.
Yes, so, but that whole first week. Okay, so now we get to add our sign. So you have the option, you can leave the sign on, you can take the sign off, or the twine on. I'm taking mine off, because I don't want it on there. So you're just going to cut the knots off the back, and then we're going to go ahead and center our sign right where we want it to look all pretty and festive. And we can pull some of our pine branches out. We don't want, obviously the one thing we really try hard to do is not let the tails interfere with the message on your sign. So if we do it right about there, that's about even, right?
Yep.
It doesn't have to be centered, is what I'm saying. It doesn't need to be centered, because we're going to add some embellishments down here and up and along the side, so we need to have some more real estate there. Okay.
And then David said my Joann's hardly had any picks at all, but I did get several ribbons. Did the 2.5 green ribbon come from Joann's? The 2.5 inch green ribbon come from Joann's?
Yes, it did.
Yes, it did.
Okay. My Beadsmith. So even though this sign has 4 holes in it already, I need my holes to be centered on the edges. So I am going to, I have metal hole punch pliers. These are 1.5 millimeter. So I'm going to take these and put the holes where I want. You could, I've seen people put pipe cleaners in and use the existing holes, and they'll use all 4. You don't need to use all 4, you only really need 2. Even in some high gusty winds, and we have some hurricane force winds out here in the high desert. I have not had anything blow off, come up. So we're just gonna go put this one on.
Wilhelmine said she already started ordering Valentine's Day signs. Awesome, Wilhelmine.
Smart girl.
And then Evie said, I love your bows. Your bows always come out looking so great.
Thank you. I think they've kind of evolved to a place where I feel kind of comfortable. So if you notice, like if I'm doing a standard one bow for a fairly large wreath, I'm going to kind of keep the formula the same.
Right.
And then that makes for a really nice balanced bow. So remember, this wreath has the elevated and the lower. So I am actually attaching my sign to the elevated rail. So I just usually twist it twice until I can make sure that it is where I need it to go before I'll go ahead and really secure it.
Just the traditional is my favorite. It seemed like traditional was the big seller this year. Just the traditional red and green.
Traditional everything, I think. Yeah. There's just a lot of people that's Christmas. Red, white, and green. I mean, when we look at our outside decor, it's traditional. It's not farmhouse. It's kind of not anything else. And if you need to push some of your pine branches down that are pushing your bow up and out of the way, you can kind of just move those down.
Deborah, no, she hasn't done a video yet on how to fluff a bow or a wreath.
Oh, that's true. We could. I might just do those as a small little quick 30-minute segment because it's really not anything to do a whole class on. So there is our base. And I don't want this. I have some red holly picks, and these came in my mystery box from 3 Birds Nests.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I'm using everything.
Yeah.
I just have to take some of the stuff that's in my boxes and just pull it out. Most of the stuff that I got was frosted, so I don't want to do frosted. But I do want to kind of pull these apart and separate them. So I'm just breaking my picks down. Always good to have 2 sizes.
Yeah. She also loved the traditional colors too. Done this amazing job, Kat. Joanne's greenery wreath is $3.99.
Oh, okay.
That's a good price. Maybe it's on sale too.
It could be. So I might come, let's see, I might bring some of these in right about here. I think this is kind of what I was thinking. I see red. There it goes. And because we're following the shape of the way our wreath goes, I think adding these little touches of holly kind of like make your sign pop a little bit more.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I just usually set them in there and I look, I'm like, do I like that? And then I have this other last one that I'm probably going to. I could, a couple things, you could come in and add your holly to your bow. You could bring it down here to the bottom. Let's see. Be quiet. We could bring it in. I'm going to definitely attach the 2 to the side. That's a for sure. So let me go ahead and add these with my glue skillet. It just allows me to just do what's called a dip and stick. You just dip it in your glue, and then you just stick it on your wreath.
Julie said it's so pretty now. I want to go out tomorrow and try to find all the supplies. Love y'all with your creations.
Well, and right now, like I said, all this stuff should be fairly good priced. I mean, I think Hobby Lobby will have their evergreens for a little while longer. Same thing with garland, ladies. Go pick up one 9-foot garland. Just, it's going to be plain garland, has nothing. It is hideous as all heck, but yeah, we're going to show you how to take that garland and you can turn it into a table runner, corner swags. You can leave it as garland. We're going to show you how to embellish that and really make, and for $9.99 less, is it? No, I think it's $9 because I want to say it's $19.99 for the full 9-foot, so 50% off is $9. And then when you break it down, and to know that you can make 3 separate creations from that, it's a really good deal. Okay.
Hi Paula, she said good day from Australia.
Good day.
We normally have another Karen is on too. I don't see her, but she's from Australia as well. Or no, she's from no, she is from Australia.
So, question for you is, how is the weather down there? I keep hearing that it is super hot. Like you guys are experiencing some abnormal heat wave down there right now. Like it's crazy temperatures, even though it's turning into Australia's summer, because our winter is their summer, but they're like 115 degrees. It's like some crazy.
Yeah. I think Karen is from Red Deer, Alberta, Canada. That's where Karen is from.
Okay. So we have some pine cones, so we can come in and add some pine cones in here wherever we want. So usually I try to find, that's why I usually get 2. These came from Michael's. So these are Michael's in the fall. So when you can get stuff on clearance, it's great if you can do that. I think I want this one here. And then we'll tuck a bigger one in over here. And I like having things pretty much just about everywhere. Just wide variety of different places. I like it right here by the nobles. So maybe we'll do something like that. Let's go ahead and pull out the ornaments, the balls, and just kind of see where those might go. And so I go out to my bulb bin and I pull out things that are seasonal, like colors wise. These I pulled out, they're just a little too big, I think. So I had gone down a size and started adding some of our traditional reds and greens. So let's do that. Let's add one right here. Maybe we'll, do we want to take this one out? Yeah, maybe we'll do it like that. And then we have some green. There's another green in here. We have some golds. I think I had these done as a kind of a trio. So I'm kind of looking at where they all sat before. I need, there's a red. Let me look. Let's do red here, green here. I think that's kind of how I did it. And I'm looking at how I did it. Okay, green not next to green, red. There's some red.
Cindy, a mystery box is from Linda from Three Birds Nest Co. on Etsy. She sells really nice and they're seasonal themed mystery boxes for $65, and that includes shipping. So, and you get a lot of stuff in those boxes.
A lot of stuff.
A lot of the gals can attest to it. It comes with a lot of ribbon and deco mesh and even a sign and pics and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's a really good box if you just kind of want to have all the guesswork taken out. So if you get it themed for, say, winter, it's going to be just that. Things that you can make a winter wreath. And most of the time, the kits contain enough items to make 2, if not 3 items from that.
Well, Paula said this weather's been very hot, some days over 107 in our measurement.
See?
Now it's very pleasant. That's what we get in our summer, 106, 107.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'm just going around and I'm not even like, usually I'll wait and I'll kind of look. And so now I'm just like, no, I'm just going to take them and glue them. So that's what you can do if you're not 100% committed on your idea. You can just take all your, and I have a wide variety, like these ones, look, Joann's. These are, again, 48 little miniature shatterproof ornaments. They come in a wide variety of different color combos, so this is really good for your traditional, even though it has a lime green and blue in, which are great for summer. These are $9.99, so these, I'm not sure if they're 60 or 70% off.
We got them 70% off, so it was like 30, like not even 20 cents a bulb or something like that.
Ours were, but I'm saying the sale that's going on now,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's 70 or 60. You can check the Joann's ad. They're the handmade holiday collection, and it's the packaged or boxed ornaments. So we're just going to do these. So I just pull the hangers off because sometimes the hangers are what adhere to the deco mesh, and sometimes they can just decide to not be part of the hanger anymore.
Pop off, yeah.
And just go out on their own. So
yeah, Gail said her mystery boxes are amazing.
yeah, they really are.
Hi Karen, she said, yes, I'm finally seeing y'all live. If you're watching this first time, let us know what city and state you're from.
Did I just knock something off?
Yeah, it's a small green one.
Oh, small green?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm just going around and just adding, making these look similar. So I'm just adding those traditional colors to the ornaments. It's just helpful to pull the tips off and then just glue with the piece on. Just helps. So do you guys consider yourselves traditional Christmas, or are you, some people are primitive, they're like the country Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
Which one are you?
Are you a modern? Are you a primitive? Are you a traditional?
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who are just, yeah, they're very modern. I was actually shocked. All the modern colors did really well this year. So it just goes to show that sometimes even when people tell you, okay, this is the trend, not always. Sometimes it could be something else.
Kay said she's traditional. Nancy is traditional.
Okay. See?
Waiting for my, oh, Janet said waiting for my farmhouse mystery box to come.
I know, mine too. I think mine's coming, I want to say it's coming tomorrow.
Simone, Karen, and Linda said traditional. Sandra said I'm traditional, so seems
Lot of
like most would
traditional.
go. Deborah said traditional Christmas too.
See?
Jessie said traditional. Yeah.
So that just shows you. And for the most part, they might be something else on the inside of their house, but the outside of their house is traditional. So they might want a traditional wreath, but the inside of their house, for something else, they might want primitive. Oops, I really did not want.
Oh, you dropped the whole thing in it?
I dropped the little, I was grabbing the glue and the little
Oh, the
end.
cap. Gotcha.
Yeah, I was stuck to the glue. So when I picked it up to throw the leftover glue in went the tip.
Jackie says farmhouse.
Okay,
Missy said I'm a mix.
see?
Carmen said I love types. 7 trees and traditional Teximus. Contemporary.
Okay, so See, and a lot of people have more than one tree. So now I'm just gluing. I think I want this pine cone. He's a little bit beefier.
Linda, we might go do that. She said if you have a Dollar General in your area, have you seen the Santas and snowmen they have? We have one right down the street.
We have a couple. We haven't gone over there though.
Just, I also like blue and silver. Yeah, that's what
Blue
was
and
our
silver.
last year, right?
Blue and silver? The year before.
Yeah.
And then we changed
Last year was all silvers and whites and creams, right?
inside.
Yeah.
Outside it was all traditional, see? So everyone's a lot like us. They can be one thing on the inside and something else to the outside. So I'm just going to add some last minute pine cones in some places that are like, add something here. So I'll show you what this looks like so far. I need to glue this one in. And then I like to do some things that kind of like the customer to find. They don't necessarily see it when it's hanging, but when they get it and they pull it out of the box, it looks fairly nice. I don't know if I want.
That'd be like a hidden cat.
Would it be like a what?
A hidden cat.
A hidden cat? Maybe. I might put the green one there. Okay, so I have a couple more berries, and I think I want to add the rest of my berries in here. Just to, because one berry pick isn't enough, really. So let's go ahead and snap these off, break these down, and we'll use these. Last one. And then we can look at using the little frosted ones. Don't know if we will, but we can. Let's look at, sometimes it's nice just to add little pops somewhere. Just
Hey, Brass, to save money, can you use any type of Teflon skillet to use as your glue skillet?
yes, from what I've been
smaller
told,
one?
yes, you can, as long as you have the ability to regulate the temperature. Because you don't want one that's just like an on or off. You want something that you can dial your temperature, because you don't want your glue to get too hot and then it starts to smoke. And then that's not fun for anybody. Let me I'm just kind of looking at adding some holly to the bottom of our sign now that we have 2 equal picks instead of just one solo pick. Kind of want the berries out and not tucked behind.
Denise, the sign came from the wreath shop.
Yes. So I'm trying to make sure it's somewhat spaced. Can you believe that? See?
Symmetrical?
I know, right? So I'm trying to like look at balance. So let me go ahead and add these right where I just had them, which is I'm just taking the holly and kind of using that red ornament at the bottom as like the center, and then I'm just putting the 2 clusters of holly to either side. I want to keep that all together. And then I'm going to add this one. Do I like that? Sometimes it's just a matter of playing with the different embellishments you have. You know, add a pine cone, add a sprig of, what do you call it? Not mistletoe, holly. Make sure all my glue is out of the way. Are you finding things? Ooh, I like these. Okay, so those leftover little frosty glittered pines. I'm just kind of taking these and adding these next to some of my ornaments. So there's like 6 of them. So I like where occasionally you'll like plop one. Right there, super pretty. And not only that, it takes that greenery again to another level.
Good night, Kathy. Have a good weekend. She said the wreath's beautiful. She's got to get up at 3 a.m.
Good night.
Oh, she's been up since 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Good night, Kathy.
Exactly. Yes. The replay will be available. She can click on it and look at the very end.
Found out the add-ons are the Christmas bulbs, holly with pine cones, and white pine, and some noble fir pine.
Please. So yeah, and then what I was telling them is these things that came off the holly picks. So watch. So when you keep pulling the glue off, I'm just dipping these, kind of adding these right next to this, because it just
really like those. It ties into the red.
It really does. It takes the glitter and pulls the glitter down to the rest of the way in there. Can I have one more? I thought I had one more. Did I glue 2 in that quick? I feel like I had one. I was like, I know I grabbed 2. So look how pretty that is. Just with, it's adding that lime green color, which is just lightly available in the ribbon. Yeah. It's pulling that all the rest of the way down. What do you guys think? And then it's all lit on top of that. So it looks super pretty.
So I like those, it makes it pop. Yep.
It really does. And at first I didn't think so.
Pops with the other lime green yet.
And I'm going to take some of these. I had some of these. They were just by themselves they were by themselves. They had no home. So I think these were like leftover from Hobby Lobby last year. So these make fun little add-ons to the bow to kind of break up places where maybe there's a little too much red and you just want to add just the slightest bit of green. And these are all wired too. And I'm just adding these in to my ribbon. Oops, I did not glue that one in. These are those ones I was like, maybe we'll just stick these right here. So that there's always something.
Okay.
Yeah, I have this one to glue in.
Oh.
No, these were, I think I want to put these there. And I just put them there and I didn't glue them. So, kind of tucking them in. We add a couple more. I'm trying to grab the longer ones. So there. And I think Hobby Lobby even sells these little curlicue picks.
Linda, she uses Gorilla Glue, just the glue sticks, and then she'll cut them in pieces and then just throw them right in the glue skillet and let it melt down. That's all you need to do.
And that's exactly what I do. I literally cut them into little pieces and add them into my skillet. So it's just nice to give people visual interest. Like sometimes they're like, oh, I didn't even see that. That looks cool. Yep, that's kind of the whole point. Purpose. We'll add another one in here. Just like so. We'll add our little green bulb to the middle, just to tie all our colors together. So you see, imagine if I was trying to come up with a materials list for people who wanted to co-create. I don't know what I want to do until we start putting it all together. Like these, I didn't think I would want to put in, but yet they work really nice. Let me see.
So this would still probably go into 22-inch box, 22 by 22 by 6.
Yeah, it would. On a diagonal. It depends on how you put it in the box. So sometimes like we'll put the bow into the corner because the bow generally has some tails that are going to go beyond that. Let me add one more. I'm just tucking these under the bow and I'll show you what we did. What I did. And one more, and that should do it. It's just there's some like areas underneath the bow that I can kind of see underneath. So I'm just kind of taking these little curlicues, kind of lifting it up and kind of tucking them under. So that when you look, you can see see the bow.
Apologies, gals. We have a
I think
cat
we're fine.
that's sick.
We are fine. So let me see.
Missy said, I also love the 2 wreaths that are behind you.
Oh,
Yeah.
the vintage Christmas, and then this was the latest gingerbread one we just did. Hold on. I don't want blue. I really just want the green or the red. It's that whole thing of, oh my god, look, there's little ornaments under there. Yeah. Because even little kids, when they're looking up at the wreath, you kind of want to give them something to see instead of just the bottom of the wreath. So sometimes just hiding little ornaments, little squigglies. Sometimes I can pop them off. So I'm going to just set these by the red, the green squiggles. Just like that. And then we will fluff our bow. And then I will put this up and you can see what it looks like on the door. So I'm just making sure I pulled all my, what are you doing? Oh, okay. So we'll take this one down. I'm going to put it way over here because I have the candle over there. And I don't want it to go up and smoke. So, there we go. So here are our little green curlicues. They're just kind of random. You see one here. There's one down here. We have our holly up here. There's one right underneath this one. Right there. So it just depends on the way the customer's going to fluff the bow. They're going to fluff it to whatever they desire to see. But I think these really just added some extra life to the wreath.
Well, I mean, yeah, that other wreath is a bubble wreath. The one that says Merry Christmas and a vintage sign, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bubble wreath. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like the way it turned out? Here's another squiggle. There we go.
Diana, have you decorated Christmas garland yet over a doorway? Those are the swags she's talking about. So, yeah.
We're doing those in our private group on Sundays. So I'm teaching my private group how to do corner swags. It's the same thing as garland, but sometimes people don't have, they have these areas like in my kitchen I have like just a single cabinet, and for decorating purposes I can't, I guess I could swag a garland all the way across. So just doing something like a corner swag decorates that one section, or like a mirror in the bathroom, things like that. So that's what we're teaching Sunday. And then Monday in our private group, we're doing Christmas deco mesh poinsettias. So we're going to teach them how to do those. So if you're interested in the private group, you're going to go to Cats Creations, the letter N, the word more.com. You're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. I mean, like all the way to the bottom. And then you're going to see two things. You're going to see, it'll say Cats Creations private group, and then everybody just sees the bar. It says click here to join private group. Well, you have to actually read the small print. And what that small print does is it opens up a larger document that explains everything that you get in the private group. You get discounts from our vendors, like 3 Birds Nest for mystery box kits. So you can get your discount on top of that $65. Signed discounts from like Jane's Front Door Decor. There's a couple other ones that I can't remember them off the top of my head. Materials list. So everything that we use tonight in the private group, they get a complete breakdown that says, hey, this was a 24-inch evergreen grapevine from Hobby Lobby. Here's the item number if you want to go online and order it. Here's all the ribbon item numbers and SKUs. So that's what $17 a month gets you through, it's like middle of December. I'm doing the Sunday and Monday lives. They're all not pre-recorded, they're live. But if you can't make them, they're all recorded, so you can come back in and watch that when it's convenient for you, so you don't miss out. And we're only doing that until mid-December, and then we take 2 weeks off at the end of December, and then everything resets for January. So then we start doing business classes on top of that. But the business classes are already there, so if you're interested, you can just go right to the business courses and start doing those one at a time.
Yep. Yeah, I was just remembering, like I said, you could just pick up the back of the wreath and you could just turn off the lights and you could leave
yeah, look. So, exactly. So Steve said, so knowing that our red ornament is a switch, so we're just going to turn it off and then I can turn it on. Yep. Super simple. So you just made it really super convenient for the customer. So it's all pretty for pictures. Yep. Okay, so hopefully, do you guys have any other questions on anything pertaining to this design? No.
And I pinned your website at the bottom if they wanted to be able to go and join the private group.
Yeah, awesome.
Donna said my husband loves this green wreath tonight.
Oh, well, then it's going to look super pretty when you
special
make
thank you
one.
for the video, always interesting. Beautiful, the lights just bring it all together.
Yeah, I love the colors.
Cheryl asked how much would you sell this for?
This one's actually on my Etsy page right now for $95 because it's lit, and then there's $20 flat shipping. So anywhere in the U.S. is the $20 rate. So I think I'm keeping it pretty affordable.
So you said 95 plus 20, so that's 115 total.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is that right? Yes.
Yeah.
Toilet paper math. Okay. Anything else you guys need to know?
Pat asked, what times are you on Sundays and Mondays on the private group?
5 o'clock, same time. So if all you remember is Friday Night Live at 5, private group is just Sunday and Monday at 5.
And that's
so it never changes.
Pacific time.
Pacific time, right. So whatever it is in your time zone, if you're Eastern, then it'll always be 8 p.m. Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays. So public, because I always get my private group going, where are you at? On Friday, I'm here. I'm like, we're a public group on Friday. Sundays and Mondays is private. Okay, anything else?
Donetta asked her last question. What kind of wreath would you suggest for a kid's craft fair for their school?
Kids, are they going to be making it? Or are you going to be making it and displaying it at the craft fair? Because that would take it in 2 different directions.
Yeah.
So just let me know. I'll give you the time frame it'll take for you to type that in. I know it's like a 30-second delay. So while you're doing that, I'm throwing all my trash away.
Oh, Pam says you still got hacked, working on straightening that out.
Oh, no worries.
No worries, Pam.
We totally and completely understand, and I think it's probably going to happen more and more as we get closer to the holidays and people do a lot of their online everything shopping online.
Yeah, Linda, thank you. She said, good evening, Kat and Steve. Enjoy your weekend. Sandra said, thanks for another great tutorial.
Yes.
Still kind of waiting for. Oh, she said me, not the kids.
Oh, so you are going to be making something for a kids craft fair. I'm going to assume it's fairly coming up close. So something for a kids craft fair. Christmas. If it's going to be Christmas, I would do something very whimsical. You could do, you can do anything as far as like a licensed trademark kind of thing. Like if you wanted to do a Grinch, you could do a Grinch wreath. You could do Charlie Brown Christmas wreath, something that kids would relate to.
Maybe the candy cane.
Yeah, candy cane would be really good. Even the simple candy cane form.
Mm-hmm.
You could do a rag wreath with the fabric and tie that. Anything whimsical, frozen themed. I'm trying to think of like all the stuff that kids are very, if they watch a lot of TV, they associate everything to something that they see on TV. So something like that, or just go traditional Santa or Jack Frost or Santa's elves.
Yeah, she said it's just to sell at their school. You can do the Christmas angels if you're in the private group.
Yeah.
You can do the color themes of the school.
I would probably go to the Grinch. It's probably me. And Hobby Lobby sells all the Grinch signs and everything else. So because you're just going to do it as a one-time thing, you're good, you know. And then they can contact you if everybody else sees it. And unfortunately, they weren't the ones to purchase it. They can contact you for a private order. Yeah. But that's what I'm thinking for a kid. That's what I would do, is I would find out, like, what do they like, you know, Christmas-wise.
Awesome.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you guys all soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.